Welcome to T&T Sports Network, where it's all sports, all the time. I'm Tom, and thanks for joining me today. Sorry if it's a little jank. I still got the janky studio set up because I can't really figure out what to do here at the moment. So right now, we're just trying to turn out some content, and you're going to have to deal with the wall behind me. Also, I'm still sick, so if it's a little hard to understand me, apologize. I got a lot going on up in this part of the nose and the head, so just trying to get this content out for you guys. Grinding while I'm sick, you could say. But today we have a fun one for you. This is what I look forward to. We have fantasy football rankings. Okay, a lot of you are having your drafts coming up. A lot in the next couple weeks. I know my main drafts are, I think, last week of August. So we're really getting full into it. We have preseason football starting up. So what better time to give the rankings, where I'm going to go position by position in a different video. So, for example, today's video is going to be quarterbacks. Then the next video will be running backs and wide receivers and tight ends. I'm going to rank the top about 31 quarterbacks because there's some who, I don't know who's going to win the quarterback battle, and I'm not ranking the Texans situation because I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, whether it's going to be Deshaun Watson or it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. I don't know. So just a forewarning, I do not have Deshaun Watson ranked, nor Tyrod Taylor, because I don't know what's going on with that situation. So let's jump right into the rankings. At number 1, we have Zach Wilson. Kidding. We have Patrick Mahomes. Who else? The best quarterback in the league. The most dynamic quarterback. One of the most dynamic quarterbacks we've ever seen. The most stacked offense in the league. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, number 1 fantasy quarterback. Will finish the number 1 fantasy quarterback. Will probably win MVP. Will probably win the Super Bowl. Will probably win Super Bowl MVP. He needs no introduction. Number 2, Josh Allen. This one could be, you could put Josh Allen a couple places on this list. I have him at number 2 because I think he's closer to the Josh Allen that we saw last season than the seasons before. I think Josh Allen has that great arm strength combined with the mobility, combined with I do not trust the running backs in Buffalo. So I think that he will be, again, vulturing rushing touchdowns, and he's throwing to Stephon Diggs, which does not hurt his fantasy value. Number 3, we have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was on track to finish in the top 3 as a fantasy quarterback last year if he didn't get injured. I don't, off the top of my head, know where he finished. I'll put that in the video. But again, as long as Kyler Murray, again, stays healthy, he's got the same exact upside as Josh Allen. You could basically say everything except Kyler Murray might, run a little bit more. I'd say maybe we'll sneak in a few more rushing touchdowns. And instead of Stephon Diggs, he has DeAndre Hopkins to throw to. So again, both value. And with fantasy football, you're really looking for that dual threat quarterback because, man, you can get the passing yards, you can get the rushing yards on top of it, you can get a rushing touchdown. Your floor is so much higher, and then it even makes your ceiling that much higher. So Mahomes does rush, but he's not mainly, I wouldn't consider Mahomes a dual threat quarterback, but Allen is, Kyler is. Number 4, I have Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's going to get back to his MVP type ways. He's going to bounce back in the passing. He's going to rush. He's going to be the quarterback leader in rushing yards. He's going to rush for a bunch of touchdowns. As long as Mark Andrews doesn't drop wide open touchdowns in the end zone, he will get back to his value and pay it off. And I believe Lamar Jackson will be the 4. In my rankings, Lamar Jackson is number 4. Number 5 was difficult because nobody knew what was going on with Aaron Rodgers. Was he going to play in Green Bay? Was he going to play in Denver? Was he going to play at all? Was he going to retire? What was he doing? He's coming back for one more year in Green Bay. And so now, for me, that takes away all uncertainty. Aaron Rodgers, number 5. In this area, I'd say between, like 4 through like 8 is pretty close, I would say. You could really interchange these guys any way you want, but Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams, with that connection, look for him to have another fantastic season. Whether the Packers have playoff success, who knows? Number 6, this will be a little biased to me because he's already one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league to watch. Justin Herbert, or for you Americans, Justin Herbert. Kid is so much fun to watch. That Chargers offense, go Chargers, go, is so much fun between him, Eckler, Keenan Allen, now the corpse of Jared Cook. That's going to be a fun offense, and Justin Herbert, He's got the rushing ability, he's got the rushing touchdown equity, and he's going to pass it a bunch and get a bunch of passing yards. So I am higher than Herbert on a few other people, but I have Herbert at 6. Number 7, I have Russell Wilson. Looking to see what gets done with his left tackle situation, because that needs to get done. They need to get a contract done there. If not, Russell Wilson will maybe be buried in the ground by the end of the season. He will be chased around the field. He will be destroyed, and he will probably get injured. And you know what? The Jets have the Seahawks first round pick this year, so I wouldn't be too upset if the Seahawks didn't have a great year. But he's still Russell Wilson. He still has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett now, a very athletic tight end in Gerald Everett. Russell Wilson has all the tools to have a really good fantasy season, and he always does. So I have him at number 7. Again, could easily be 6, could easily be 5. Number 8 is somebody who a lot of people have forgotten about recently because of his gruesome ankle injury to end last year. But we have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going to have a monster season as long as his shoulder injury is not bad, which is a little scary because they were consulting with the Texas Rangers on how to get rid of, I guess, work with his shoulder injury, which is not a great sign. But, you know, if Dak is healthy and full go to start the season, boy, he's going to have a monster year with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Blake Jarwin, Ezekiel Elliott. That Cowboys offense will be hard to stop, and Dak could end up pushing top 5, top 4, even top 3 if the Cowboys have a special season. Number 9, we have the 70-year-old legend Tom Brady, one of my least favorite quarterbacks of all time, probably my least favorite quarterback of all time, because he made my life misery growing up being a Jets fan. But, you know, he's still got it at his age. He's still going to sling it. He's got weapons galore down Tampa. They're going to want to go for back-to-back Super Bowls. He wants more. He's hungry. He's in the greatest shape of any quarterback. So Tom Brady, again, will have another monster season, I believe, as long as he stays healthy. And that's never an issue with Brady, except for a fluke torn ACL back in like 2008. Number 10, we have Matthew Stafford. This is one I'm very excited about. Matthew Stafford going to the Rams. I'm wearing a throwback Eric Dickerson jersey because I don't have a Jets jersey, because the last Jets jersey I bought was Jamal Adams, and we see how well that worked out. But Matthew Stafford, number 10, throwing it to Jared Goff, throwing it to Cooper Kupp, throwing it to Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, you know, Deshaun Jackson, all the weapons that the Rams have. It's going to be fun to watch Stafford sling the ball around to those guys. Bobby Trees, I think, will have a fantastic season for the Rams with Stafford as quarterback, and I would expect big things out of that passing offense and huge things out of Matthew Stafford. Number 11, I have Joe Burrow. I don't see any issues with him coming back from his ACL injury. I think he'll be fine. That offense is going to throw a ton. They're going to throw like 50 passes a game. Burrow's going to go like 32 for 50 for like 330 every game. He's got Jamar Chase, Tyler Higbee, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. That offense is going to be, if not prolific, they're just going to have a lot of attempts to be. So I like a high attempt quarterback, and Joe Burrow gives you that. He's going to give you a pretty stable floor because he's going to be throwing the ball a ton, and a really high ceiling if he gets into like shootouts and completes a bunch of passes and throws for like 4 touchdowns. Number 12 is interesting because it's Jalen Hurts, and like I said, Jalen Hurts kind of fits that mold of a dual threat quarterback. He's got more running ability than I believe his passing ability, but Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He showed at the end of last season that he could really score some fantasy points. I just don't trust Philly to want to roll with him. I don't know. They have to. So he could end up much higher on this list. He could end up definitely in the top 10. I would not be shocked. But just because of the uncertainty with Jalen Hurts, and I'm just not 100% sure how they use him, what they're doing in Philly, I have him at 12. 13, I have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan did not have a great season last year, and they got rid of Julio, yes, so you would think, why is Matt Ryan this high? Well, I think that the Falcons are going to have to throw the ball 70 times a game instead of the Bengals 50 times, and he's still throwing it to Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Zacchaeus, Russell Gage. You know, I think with Mike Davis there, I think Matt Ryan will have a good season. I don't think the Falcons will have a good season, but we don't care about that in fantasy football. You care about Matt Ryan having a good season, and as long as he has to throw the ball, he will have a good season. Number 14, Ryan Tannehill, the magical wonder. Somehow, every season he gets it done in Tennessee. He's a model of consistency now. and he gained Julio Jones. So he lost Jonnu Smith, but he now has Julio Jones and A.J. Brown as a 1-2. That is incredible. And then on top of that, he has Ferkser, who everyone seems to be really high on at tight end, Anthony Ferkser. And then he's got Derrick Henry to hand the ball off to. So I can definitely see another great season out of Ryan Tannehill, as the Titans will probably win the AFC South again. 15, Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is a perfect spot for Fitzpatrick. I'm so happy he's in Washington. He's going to throw the ball a ton. Another quarterback is going to throw the ball a ton. And he's got some great weapons to throw it to, and that Washington team should be able to score points. And I think those NFC East matchups are going to be pretty high scoring between the the football team, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles. I would think they'll be pretty high scoring. The Giants have the best defense out of all of them, but I still think all those teams can score points. Fitzpatrick loves to throw the ball. There's going to be a game where he throws 6 interceptions and the football team loses like 49-3. But there's also been a game where he throws for like 500 yards and Terry McLaurin goes for 14 for 203 touchdowns. So you take the good with the bad with Fitzpatrick, but he should be throwing the ball a lot. 16 is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, unknown commodity, rookie, but everything that we saw of him in college and the pre-draft, he's a generational talent. He's got some talent down there to throw the ball to in Jacksonville. DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, Travis Etienne, James Robinson, which when we get to the running backs, I have no idea what to do with those running backs. So Trevor Lawrence should have a pretty good season. I don't think he pushes top 10, but definitely, in this 15, 16, 14, he can work his way up that list. I think this is just the beginning for Trevor Lawrence. 17, we have the complete opposite. I have Ben Roethlisberger, a quarterback who I believe is way on the downturn, and we saw that in the last playoff game against the Browns. He looked horrendous, just throwing pick after pick after pick. I think this is the last season we see Roethlisberger, and I don't think it'll be a good one for him. But he's still has the receivers. He's got Claypool, Juju, and Deontay Johnson with Najee Harris in the backfield. So you can't count him out. That's why I have him around middle of the pack at 17. 18, we have Kirkland Cousins. If you're playing a 1 o'clock game every week against the Falcons, Kirk Cousins will be quarterback number 3. But he's going to have to play some primetime games. He's going to play some 4 o'clock games, and there's going to be games where he lays stinkers. That's why he's number 18. He's great in games that don't have the most eyes on, don't have the biggest pressure on him. Not great in those games where you really need him to be great. 19, I have Baker Mayfield. I'm expecting a pretty good season out of Baker. I mean, I have him at 19, so what could I expect? But I think Baker will be pretty good in that Browns offense again. I don't know if he's growing with the Browns offense, but they're kind of finally gelling together, I believe. And that Browns team is going to be strong. I have them favored to win. I'm going to say I have them favored to win the AFC North. I think Baker will have a very serviceable season. They won't need him to be a monster quarterback, but I don't think he'll make the mistakes that will kill them. And I think the Browns have a good season this year. And Baker, in part, has a good season. 20, we have Jameis Winston. I'm assuming, praying, hoping Jameis Winston beats out Taysom Hill as QB1 of the Saints. He better, because it's much more fun to watch if it's Jameis Winston instead of Taysom. Michael Thomas' situation is weird. I don't know. I know he's injured, but then he also tweeted, I'll put it up here, that cryptic tweet, which I don't even know what that was about. So who knows what's going on with Michael Thomas if he's trying to work his way out of New Orleans, but I still think Jameis Winston will make it work with the receivers they have. And it's Jameis. He's going to throw the ball 40 times a game anyway. He's going to throw 3 picks a game, but he'll throw 3 touchdowns a game. And you know what? Around here, I think that's all you need. 21, Carson Wentz. I originally had Carson Wentz not ranked. I had Jacob Eason ranked. But then as I was doing my pre-research for the show, it looks like Carson Wentz might be ready in time for the start of the season. And if that's the case, you got to give Carson Wentz the respect. That Indy team is good. That Indy team should be able to help Carson. He won't have the rushing abilities that he used to have with all the injuries, but I still think we'll see a pretty rejuvenated, better version of Carson Wentz than we saw in Philly. And yeah, so we have Carson at 21, Derek Carr at 22. Derek Carr, the model of inconsistency again. He is he's mediocre at best. That they could be able to put up points in Las Vegas. So, I'm not crazy about Derek Carr. I never am, but 22 because there are some quarterbacks behind him that just flat out I don't think are good. Like number 23, Tua. That Miami offense has given him all the ability around him. He's going to have Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, Myles Gaskin. He's got, and Jalen Waddle. He's got a lot of offense, a lot of people around him, and they're going to really try and make it work with Tua. And if Tua doesn't work well this year, then you got to wonder Miami's quarterback of the future. But if Tua can turn the page and really, take that team to the next level, Miami could be a dark horse Super Bowl contender, and Tua could, next year be ranked closer to the top 10. But this is a make or break year for me for Tua, and we'll see how he does. 24, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, another quarterback who's really in a make or break year. He's got all the weapons around him. No excuses for Daniel Jones, except if Evan Ingram drops 40 passes again this year. He's got Kenny Galladay now, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Saquon back, like I said, Evan Ingram, and Kyle Rudolph. This Giants offense should be legit. If they're not, it's because of Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is out of town next year. 25, Drew Lock. It's Drew Lock. What can you say? He's probably the placeholder for the Broncos until Aaron Rodgers gets there. He's not very good, but he could win you a couple games. You're not starting him in fantasy. This is probably like a bye week filler. If like he's going up against like, I don't know, the worst defense in the league, then yeah, sure. Go and give Drew Lock a filler. If not, stay far away from him. 26, Jared Goff. Another quarterback who, well, not another quarterback. Swap spaces with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's in LA. Jared Goff is in Detroit. Jared Goff was not very good once people kind of figured out what him and Sean McVay were doing, when Sean McVay was able to, read the plays of the line and tell Jared Goff what to audible out of. Jared Goff is going to probably struggle in Detroit, as I would imagine most of Detroit will struggle. No Kenny Galladay, no Marvin Jones. TJ Hawkinson's going to get a lot of pass volume, so we'll see that in the tight end rankings. But, I probably could have Jared Goff ranked a little higher, but I'm just not sold on him. I'm not sold on Detroit as a whole, so I can see Jared Goff having a terrible year. 27, we have Cam Newton. Cam Newton, this all depends on how long Cam Newton stays starting quarterback. If he's doing well and the Patriots are rolling, Cam Newton's quarterback all season, he will probably pay off quarterback 27. He'll probably be higher than quarterback 20 with all his rushing touchdown equity. That means he's playing well. That means Patriots playing well. If Cam Newton is down this far, it means he was benched halfway through the season for Mac Jones, and Cam Newton will then be crossed off the list and replaced with Mac Jones. So, that's all a speculative play. We don't know how well the Patriots are going to do. And like I said, all depends on if they're playing well. If they're not, if they're playing well, Cam will blow away his ADP, and he'll be a value quarterback. If not, then it's Mac Jones season. 28, I have Justin Fields. I have Justin Fields as the best of the next rookie quarterbacks outside of Trevor Lawrence. I think he overtakes Andy Dalton rather quickly for starting quarterback one of the Chicago Bears, and he will enjoy throwing the ball to Allen Robinson, and I think he'll look pretty good. I think Bears fans are going to be very happy with their quarterback selection of Justin Fields, and I think next year we could be looking at Justin Fields around the area we look at, like, I don't know, Kirk Cousins, Big Ben, around that 17, 18 area. 29, my quarterback, Mormon Mahomes, Zach Wilson. Mixed reports out of training camp. He's looked great. He's looked terrible. The real star of Jets training camp is Elijah Moore. I'm not expecting much out of Zach Wilson this year. He's going to be a low, quarterback that no one has, even probably no one uses as a bye week filler. Maybe like 2 quarterback leagues. If both your quarterbacks are on bye weeks, you need them. But yeah, it's not really much. We're just hoping to see some development from young Zach this year. And yeah, 30, we have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold will. It's probably people say it's my bias having Zach Wilson ahead of Sam Darnold, but it is. You're probably correct. If Sam Darnold played the way he played as a Jet, Sam Darnold will be the 30th ranked quarterback this year. If he, does well under Joe Brady and does well with DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, and company, then he will have a great season, prove me wrong, make all Jet fans depressed, and will be like a top 15 quarterback. So, I'm rooting for that not to happen, but I could definitely see it happening. And 31, I have Trey Lance. Now, this is all speculative because I don't know when Trey Lance is going to become a quarterback. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if Jimmy G is going to start. But if Trey Lance starts, he will have a phenomenal season. I have him 31 because I just don't think he's going to start. But I think Trey Lance will have a very good season with the weapons they have in San Francisco. Such a fast offense. They have Mostert, they have Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. It's going to be a fun offense to watch, and Trey Lance can really succeed if they give him the job sooner rather than later, but they still have Super Bowl fantasies, so maybe Shanahan thinks that Jimmy G gives them a better chance than a rookie quarterback. We'll see. I'm not sure, but like I said, if Trey Lance is the starter, you can move him way up on the list, in my opinion, because he could have a monster season, and he could be a value quarterback that could surprise a lot of people. And like I said, I do not have the Texans quarterback situation ranked because I do not know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Like I said, if Deshaun Watson plays the full year, which I don't see, then of course you could pencil him in as like quarterback 6 and move everyone down. If not, then Tyrod Taylor. I put Tyrod Taylor around quarterback like 24, 25, around Drew Lock, Jared Goff around area. But yeah, that's my quarterback rankings. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, who you think is going to be the best value quarterback for fantasy football. Leave that in the comments below. And be sure to look out in the coming days for the running backs. Thanks for watching here on TTSN. If you like the content, if you want more fantasy football content, if you want more football content, if you want more everything content, like the video. Shout out Nick Merckx where I got that from. Yeah, like the video, comment, post notifications, subscribe to the channel. Everything helps us grow. We're going to put out a ton of football content this year, fantasy football content every week, picks against the spread every week. It's going to be a fun one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.